I have to. I feel like that it's very important for our show and for our audience that I'm very transparent about the things that have been going on in my life, and I'd love to come clean today to you. Oh, okay. It's a really emotionally, taxing moment on me. I guess you could just grip it or rip it, no problem.
I've been waiting for like 30 minutes for this. Anyway, please continue. I'm very sorry I interrupted your emotionally taxing moment.
I just feel like it's important for me and for us in the audience and our relationship together that I'm very open and vocal about what's been changing in my life, and so I need to just go on a little bit of a story before we start. Uh, so
Uh-huh.
I was I was taking my dog out for a walk just today. Today it was it's oh how times can change so quickly and so suddenly. I was I,
Uh-huh.
I was I was going out for a walk with my dog today, and we were at the beach because I live on the Washington coast, and that's where the beach is, and I love going down there every single day to walk my
The one
dog,
beach.
to to walk my dog and to take her and go through all the little winding trail paths. And I came upon a mysterious shrub of leaves buried into the deep, deep sand. And my dog, she sniffed it, and she was very concerned and confused. But I thought, huh, what could be so bad? Little did I know. Little did I know. And so I I went over and I dug it up. I had a trowel because that's what you do at the beach. I troweled it up and I dug it up and I plucked it from the very earth, and it was a mandrake, and I died.
Wow.
And so the rest of the podcast for the ever is going to be Elena and a ghost because I'm dead.
So for the last 2.5 minutes, you might have been hearing absolutely nothing except me saying, mm-hmm, wow. Um, but I have to inform you, dear audience, that my beloved co-host has passed away under mysterious circumstances.
It wasn't
Apparently nothing to do with
mysterious.
the
I told you what
mandrake.
it was.
No, no, no.
um,
The audience can't hear you right now. You're a fucking
well,
ghost. Shut the fuck up.
well, no, I definitely did some testing, and I'm definitely one of those cool technology ghosts that can
Uh-huh.
that can go into the airwaves and into the radio and talk. And Audacity's definitely picking up this, but who knows? You might be right, but what I'm hearing and seeing right now is that Audacity is picking something up, and so who
Well, that's
knows?
just frightening,
Yeah, who knows? If
actually.
I go in here, it might just be a bunch of wailing, which I mean wouldn't be too. I got a mandrake screamed at me and I died, and so that wouldn't make it would thematically be appropriate.
I'm sorry I opened a Coke during your Mandrake's death tale.
I just needed to come clean about how that I'm dead and I'm a ghost now because a mandrake killed. It's you know what like it was. It's such a bummer because the. It's such a bummer because the.
It's just such a bummer, dude.
Well, it's because it's like when you
You ever
see.
been killed by a Mandrake?
Well, because
Holy
when you, well,
shit.
because when I kind of knew, I kind of thought that that's what it was, but I wasn't like really thinking about like it's, it's like that feeling where it's like you pick it up and you die, and it's a mandrake and you die, and like as you're dying, you're like, I knew it was a mandrake.
I knew it was a
Why did
Mandrake.
I
Why the
fucking
fuck did
pick?
I do
Why
that?
did I do? You have to take proper, but like if I had taken those precautions, you know what I could? It's mandrake is it's such a good healing root. Like you can chop it up, make it into like a poultice, and like
You died,
that cures
Andrew.
anything. That cures anything.
You died, Andrew.
But I died instead. And now I got these fucking ghost hunters everywhere because they're like, I'm picking something up on my EMF waves. I'm not on your EMF waves, asshole.
Is this because I brought up Danny Phantom last night? Is this my punishment?
No, no, I've been thinking about this bit for years.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go back and drink my Coke.
Uh, it's just, it's just such, it's, anyway. Yeah, it's gonna have no real like narrative repercussions on the podcast because obviously I can still watch and react to media despite being of beyond the grave. Uh, it's not very difficult for me in my current state to still open up Netflix. Obviously, I can't type on the computer, but I can possess the laptop and make it click the buttons on its own.
I don't think that's how laptops work.
I can go in, I can enter cyberspace. uh, and hey, everyone's always wondering like where all the ghosts went because obviously, you know, ghosts are real because I'm real and I'm a ghost and I'm around. And there are some ghosts that are still out there if you go on like that like haunted cruise ship or whatever. Like there's tons of ghosts there, obviously. But
The one haunted cruise ship.
yeah, the big one. But
The big one.
but the if like everyone's like, oh, but people have been dying for years. Like there are like probably like millions of dead people. Where are all of the ghosts? I'll tell you where they are on the internet. They went, all of them figured out that it's a lot cooler in there than it is out here. It's they all kind of went online, and soon I will join them. But before that, I do have to record a podcast.
You made a commitment to me and to this podcast.
I do have to.
And I'll be so sad if you make me do a podcast all on my own.
Oh, who knows? Maybe you will. Maybe you already are.
Oh my god. It's just.
But that's neither here nor there. Today we're gonna be watching. Today we're gonna be watching a show that I watched a bunch of like maybe like a year, 2 years ago. I forget. It's called The End of the Fucking World. I have to censor all these. Oh god, so many swearings.
So many swearings.
Uh,
Shit.
I mean technically it's not. It's got because it has like asterisks in the F word.
Mm.
So
we have to censor ourselves to be accurate to the title.
we can say it's the end of the freaking world.
Yeah, but then you're adding an R.
I know, but it's there's like Christian YouTube girl that I watch and she like reads things out loud and she'll be reading stuff that has she'll be reading things that has swears and she has I don't know how she manages to do it. She has a replacement word for every swear. Every single one.
They teach that in the church.
Is that true? Is that I literally can't I don't know how to you can say anything about this and I didn't do any church.
I had a whole Sunday school lesson on alternative swears, so they would first say the actual swear.
And they were like,
they'd be like, do not say this.
I'm so sorry,
Instead,
children. I have to say it once.
And once, just to introduce it to you. That way you know it. That way you know to avoid it. And then they would say the replacement word.
Yeah, and so anytime that the media she is like reading out loud has the F word in it, she does say fricking, and so that's where I'm kind of just naturally drawn to. I think we can say the end of the frickin' world.
Are you sure I can't say end of the fucking world?
I mean, we can also just say it. We have sweared a lot on the podcast.
We have sweared a lot.
But I just thought that it would be nice to think of, to be conscious of that. Like it's, like swear as much as you want, but just like be aware that that's what you're using and that's what you're saying. I guess.
Fine. End of the freaking world it is.
It's up to you. So.
Oh no, you just gave me like the big old like the whole you don't have to do this talk, but like you'd be disappointed if I did.
Okay. So I watched it. I don't remember when I watched it. Like I watched someone talk about it on YouTube.com a while ago, and then I was like, I guess I'll watch that. And then I watched all of it. Back when there was only the one season, because there is a season 2. We're not going to be doing that one this time, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about season 2. Just season 1. The end of the fucking world. Elena, what do you think about it? What do you think?
I know it's edgy. I know it's based off a comic. And I already have it pulled up on Netflix, and I have to say this episode 1 synopsis, Bored with Killing Animals, is how it starts off, and so I'm very excited to see what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
Back to you, Andrew.
Yeah, it's a weird little. I never read the comic, but I feel like I kind of want to because it has a really weird little art style. It's like drawn in like that like Saturday morning like Sunday comic strip like art style. That's what the comic is, and it's just wild because it gets like really really messed up, and I guess that's their aesthetic. But yeah, no, it's a fun one, and it definitely exists. It's a piece of media, and we're gonna watch it. That's what the show's about.
All right. I love how you have to explain the show every single time we do an episode for the show. All 4 episodes in.
Oh, that's right, I do have to do that. Wikipedia.
Wait, what? No, that's not what I meant. Oh God.
What is it? It's a
I'm so sorry.
it's a British dark comedy drama television program based on a graphic novel of the same name by Charles Forsman.
What's his name?
Charles Forsman.
All right then.
I think it's no, it is not. No, it is not a Netflix original. I think the sequel is technically a Netflix original though. I don't know. But it is. Oh, it won. It was nominated for 2018 British Academy Television Award for Best Drama Series, as well as winning a Peabody Award in 2019.
End of the fucking world. Excuse me. End of the freaking world is a Netflix original, or it's a Netflix series. I don't think they can call it original because it's not originally their source material.
Yeah.
But it's got the funky little N in the top left corner.
Yeah, I think that just means they bought the rights to it. But it does say here that it originally premiered on Channel 4, which is the fourth channel in the UK.
Wait, are they British?
They are British.
Oh my God, excellent.
Yeah, it is a British series. So how about that? Because I thought I after we recorded our funny little David Bowie Labyrinth episode, I thought that it would be a really cool idea going forward to for the person who hasn't seen it, ask them, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, what's gonna be like give me like a rundown, even if you have nothing to base it off of, just start making stuff up.
I don't like this bit, first off. Second off, I do think someone gets stabbed. I feel like I've read that somewhere. I mean, it's like two teenagers being stupid and edgy with one another. It's Romeo and Juliet, but bad. And Romeo and Juliet is already pretty bad from a romance perspective. I'm reading episode synopses. I'm cheating.
But don't do that.
Well, don't ask me random questions like that.
I just thought that it would be a fun little game, because then we could come back at the end of it and be like, how wrong were you?
But I don't like being wrong.
Anyway, that's.
Don't they run away? I feel like they run away.
I won't.
You can't confirm or deny.
I won't tell you anything that you shouldn't already know.
I think they run away, and if not.
All right, well, that's what we'll put in, the one little key piece of information that Elena's gonna assume. They run away, and
I think someone gets stabbed.
And we'll come back.
Those are my two things.
We'll come back. We'll come back next time at the end. We'll come back after this, and we'll say, we'll clarify whether or not they ran away and if someone got stabbed. Thanks for watching thanks for listening to our podcast.
See y'all in a sec.
Yeah, bye.
Wow, I loved the Heathers reboot. That's the first thing on my notes, so I had to say it first. You understand?
Just because they were all mean.
God, it's just so bleak. And like, I don't mind bleak. I like Heathers.
I do like it. Well, Heathers is at least like fun. Like, it has like an energy to it.
Yeah, it did get better as it went on.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was on the fence for, I don't know, the first 5 or 6 episodes.
That's a lot of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was.
I mean, like, I do. Well, hold on. This isn't where we're starting. This can't
Why
be
not?
it. This can't be it.
I did my funny Heathers joke, though.
I didn't. I don't know, man.
Hey, guys, Andrew's still dead, and I like the Heathers reboot. This is the 3rd take.
This is take 8.
It's definitely not.
Welcome to take 8.
I guess it's take 8 now.
I've been dead and I'm dead and I died. Ooh.
What
Ooh.
what are you on?
I'm on Discord and Audacity. What other programs do I have open? Google Chrome? No, I closed it already. Uh, I I just it's a we just finished the show. This is another one, much like our funny labyrinth. We just like finished the pre watch recording, and then we watched the whole show, which is a lot, it was a lot shorter than I remember it being, but have a feeling I know why it felt longer to me. But that's for later. Um, and now it's the end, and we're recording the ending.
And now we're recording the ending.
And it was,
And Andrew's still dead.
and I'm still dead. A Mandrake killed me. And you know what? It's so
What?
fucked up because I so like I said earlier that all these fucking ghost hunters have been coming around, and they have because like obviously like I'm putting out waves that they can detect or whatever the fuck, and they're like, oh, I'm here, do my EMF meter, or here, check my, this is my weird box. It makes a bunch of radio sounds. You can influence it, right? And
How often do you watch ghost shows?
it's like, yo, I watch them very often. I'm living it,
Really?
Elena.
Well, I'm just saying, you'd think you know the equipment a little bit better if you were like
I said
a
EMF.
connoisseur.
It stands
Yeah,
for
and then you said box thing.
Yeah, stands for electromagnetic frequency. Um, I forget what. Oh, it's a spirit box, is what it's called. That's what it's called. That's the one that it cycles through all the radio channels, and it's like, well, if the radio is going this fast, then obviously the ghosts can influence it. Which I said that in a very incredulous voice, but it is true because I do it. um, but it's so fucked up because they'll come over here and they'll be like, oh my god, there's a spirit in this room. Here, I'll put on my spirit box. Do you want to tell us how you died? And I'll just start making up some bullshit because like, do you know how embarrassing it is to say like, I was at the beach with my dog and I picked a mandrake and it killed me.
I am very concerned at the frequency with which you're encountering ghost hunters because you did say that you were killed by a mandrake today.
Today.
You do seem very exasperated with these ghost hunters.
Today, exactly. It's ridiculous how often they're coming. They're at the door now.
Well, answer it.
I have to beat them off with a stick. It's God, these fucking ghosts. It's what do they expect of me? Honestly, like
Oh, probably some ghosty shit. Anyway,
yeah,
not to cut this lovely bit short,
yeah.
but I really want to talk about this show now.
I threw around some vases and then they all ran away. Anyway, we watched the end of the fucking world.
I thought we were censoring ourselves.
The end of the fucking world.
Anyway, Tony, the stepdad, he looks like Robbie Rotten if Robbie Rotten were like an actual villain.
I was about, hey, I just had an
Uh-huh.
incredible experience in my brain
Uh-huh.
where I thought because the way that my brain works, I don't know if this is normal or not, but I normally kind of like conceptualize what I'm about to say right before I say it. Um,
Mhm.
and what my brain was telling me to say was, all of the people in this show look so real. And then I stopped myself and I thought, that's the. Oh, really?
Wow, Ghost Andrew.
Oh, really? Do they?
Never would have guessed.
Do they all look real? But I guess the thing that I was trying to say is that they all look like people I know, which is a weird. Like when I think of people in the show, I can like picture them somewhere else in my life.
Well, because like the characters are gritty in that, like, it's just like that's the aesthetic that gritty tends to go for. It's just like minimal makeup, real people aesthetic.
Yeah, and they did a good job. The aesthetic, they definitely. I mean, like it's whether or not you appreciate the aesthetic, they still nailed it. Like what they were trying to
Yeah.
do, they did very well. Uh, it's so the story. Oh yeah, hey, we need to cut back. Hey, so Elena was right.
Someone did get stabbed.
Someone got stabbed and they did run away. Uh,
They
man,
ran away a lot.
they did run away a
Like the
lot.
whole time they were running away.
And
Which I guess if you commit a murder and then dispose of the body, things would have been fine if they only had like squatting charges,
yeah, but
property damage.
yeah, yeah. But this is a world in which everyone is a supervillain, so naturally anyone they interacted with was bad.
I liked Eunice.
I did like Eunice, Eunice the good cop. She
Eunice the good cop. She did get knocked upside the head with a gun.
with the gun barrel, or yeah,
It was not the barrel.
it was the other end.
Stock.
Stock, and it was upsetting because she was trying her best, but the uh Alyssa didn't want to not be to go to the same prison, I guess.
They had to be together. Don't you understand, soulmates, Ghost Andrew?
They Oh, I know something about souls, Elena. Oh! Oh! Anyway, as you were saying,
Oh yeah.
uh
Nope, took the wind out of my sails at that one.
um so I so I yeah, no, it's a wild show. I I remember the reason that I watched it the first time was because I watched like a video essay about it, and it was like a video essay basically kind of praising it for being a very good example of an adaptation.
Mm.
Because there were a lot of bad examples of adaptations, um,
Yes.
where they just don't do any of the good. Can't think of any off the top of my head. I wonder. uh, but uh, but this one does a lot of really cool ideas. Specifically, the fact that the original source material is a very minimalist comic. Like there is like practically no backgrounds. The characters are very simply designed, and it is pretty much just kind of very character based in that sense, and and the and that like kind of makes it very impactful when suddenly like a page is filled with art. Uh, and some of like the more notable examples are like the page where they killed the guy. It was very very graphic. Uh, like shit like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it really pops out. And so obviously Netflix can't make it. Well, not Netflix. Is a BBC Channel 4. They can't make a show where it's minimalist and there's no backgrounds. So they had to like compensate, and I think they did a very good job with that, making it very
Yeah, it very much fit the whole feeling they were going for. Set it up really well.
it's a lot more scenic. There was a lot of cool color play, which made
Mm-hmm.
sense. Made sense because it was pretty obvious that they edited it like that. Like they probably turned the saturation down pretty much all the time, except for in like a few specific scenes where they needed the color to be more important.
Yeah.
I remember noticing right after they kill the guy and they're walking away through the field. I noticed that they both had very distinct color patterns. Like uh, Alyssa was in red, and that's a boy.
James.
James, he was in blue, and it was just kind of that was like their solid color. I thought that was a nice little feature.
Yeah, because they were both like nice, like dark, kind of like a like blood red, and then like a navy blue.
Yeah. Uh, and it's a weird little one. Uh, I know that uh, I think while we were watching, me and Elena, we were talking about like the whatever the season 2 is, because I have also already seen the season 2. I don't know if we're gonna do that for this show, but it's definitely a possibility. We could also just watch it on our own.
I
Um,
low key kind of just want to watch it whenever we're done with this.
yeah, no, that's fine. Um, because and I know that I've watched it, and I do like the second season, but I know that there's a lot of like issue in the fact that it is not technically like the book's canon. The book ends at the end of the first season. But I also know that it was people were still excited for the aspect of the season two because there were things that were changed pretty drastically about season one that people did enjoy. Namely, the two police officers are entirely new, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and
I really enjoyed
and
those
and they
characters.
were very well done. So obviously, whoever they got to work on the project did a good job in writing it, making it
Mm-hmm.
everything fit in.
But God, was it hard to like some of these characters? And by some, I mean all except three. Yeah, the two cops and then Emil.
Emil,
We love Emil.
we love Emil. I mean, even the one cop is not, especially near the end. She's like very much a cop.
Yeah, what was her name? Tori.
Tori.
Yeah, she got pretty pretty cop like there in the end, but like I do understand where she's coming from.
I mean, like, yeah, they did do a
They did
murder.
kill a
They
guy,
did.
and there is
They killed a guy. They did, and they also robbed a gas station. But I mean, like, they were both 17, which is not necessarily a kid, but also not an adult. It's it's just a little. I don't know. I like used. No, what's the other cop?
Eunice.
Eunice. That's right. I was getting confused with Eustace, and I was like, that's a man. That's a
I
man.
mean, Leslie was the name of the dad, so
Uh-huh. I mean, that one has been
yeah.
gender
No, you're
neutral
right.
for a while.
I
Uh,
also think it's more common to be gender neutral in the the, the UK
yeah.
than here.
Which is that's a fun. It's all British one.
It's all British a little bit.
It's all a little British one. And they got one Irish actor, and he's the dad, and he sucks.
He sucks.
uh, yeah.
But as soon as you mentioned he was attractive, I was like, you know what? Which I hated. Thank you for that.
What that you were like, yeah, I guess.
I was like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Like
no.
he had smile lines around his eyes, and I was like, can't get rid of those when you're acting.
No, he had a really good smile, and there were scenes that were like charming about him, but all the
Yeah,
other ones were the bad and the worst. And he
he
sucked,
deserved a knife to the leg.
and he got stabbed, and he fucking deserved it. Um, I want to talk about. I just started talking, and I didn't know where I was going.
Well, I have notes if you ever just want me to
You
pick a
should
point.
talk about something, because I started saying the
Okay,
words I want to talk about, and I didn't have anything to say after that.
okay, so the kids, like the babies,
Uh-huh.
they were really big.
What does that mean?
If you like when she like walks up to Alyssa, when Alyssa's mom walks up to her and like hands her one of the kids, like they're just really big.
What is that? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know. I just wrote it down because I was like, oh, wild.
That's
Because like everyone else in that family is like,
oh, that they're clearly not their children, I guess.
oh, I wasn't at all getting at that, but I suppose it just felt weird baby casting choices. I don't know where I was going with this.
Uh, yeah, it's
Anyway, I wanted to talk about the cinematography
oh yeah.
because especially in the introduction, I thought they did a really good job switching because switching point of views is always very difficult.
Hmm.
Whether like in any medium, whether it's writing or TV or movies, um, switching point of views convincingly when you have a narration going on is very difficult. But I think they did it very smoothly.
Yeah.
The way they like play off each other's like statements and
Hmm.
counteract one another without knowing they were counteracting one another.
I I really like the narration. I don't really like narration in much shows because it's kind of like a drawback to like the aspect of framing and cinematography.
Yeah, it's very often just kind of like, yeah, I can see that, thank you.
Yeah, no, like it's a lot of people use it as like a get out of jail free card of like, well, just in case they didn't notice it, I'll just have them say it also in the thing. But they use the narration really well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like to like reinforce things and to do other stuff. I also I noticed at some point um the narration was used because obviously it's the characters talking like post show technically because the characters referred to everything that happened in like past tense when they were
Yeah.
in narration, and so that's a cool aspect of it. Um but also I liked that the narration kind of almost it complemented but also didn't complement what the characters said on screen as a way to kind of interpret how they how much they trusted each other.
Mhm.
um like especially like literally like right before they went into Alyssa's dad's house. It's Melissa.
Melissa,
uh, right when they right before they went into her dad's house, she said like I'm really scared in her head, and then immediately out loud said it also as a way to like this is
Yeah.
they are all good now, like all like they are fully trusting of each other, and then immediately kind of took it away because as soon as she started getting weird about it, she stopped doing that. It was a
Mhm.
really well designed way to get across how much the characters like were feeling about each other.
Yeah, they had the same moment for James when they were in like when they were in the house. Um and Alyssa was like, "Do you even want me?" And he was like, "I do." And then like immediately the narration was like, "I did."
Yeah, no. So that's a really it's a really good way to because obvious like I if he didn't say that there would have been some level of like did he really? Maybe he was lying.
It is interesting to me how the first character we see to open up is the one that they set up to be like the kid that's going to be like the biggest issue. Because like James is like undeniably the first to actually like connect emotionally.
Mhm.
Because like Alyssa's like very clearly just like latching onto the first person who seems destructive enough.
It's wild. She's like bored of all of her friends, and then she just like sees a social outcast and is like, well, it's better than nothing. Uh,
Yeah.
that's yeah, that's prep. That's a preppy girl for you. Uh, and you were saying?
I was saying, what was I saying?
I don't. I also don't remember.
I did like it's either episode 2 or episode 3 when they're in the hotel. Um, like up until that point, Elsa had been very demanding in what she like wanted from James, like very straightforward, very very much like, hey, do this now.
Hmm.
Um, and then the first time she ever like asks for something is when she's asking for James to cuddle her. Like it's
Mm.
a very like emotional, open moment.
Yeah. I, I
That's just what I noticed.
I know it's good. I forgot how sexual this show was.
It was very sexual.
I forgot. I feel like that's weird that I would have forgotten because it's very, very important to the show.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's definitely part of like the whole like coming of age aspect of this show.
hmm.
Is that Alyssa feels like she has to grow up. Um, at least I think I'm pretty sure that's what they were getting at. They never actually like link the coming of age aspect of the show to the show itself.
Eh.
But it seemed very much like Alyssa was just trying to like become an adult and get life kind of over with almost.
Yeah, I mean,
With like the sex and the alcohol and her whole like living life to the fullest aspect of her personality.
yeah. Uh, yeah, no, I feel like the way they were setting it up was kind of like a way a lot of teens, a lot of edgy teens like to think of that like I'm just gonna grow up and get the fuck out of here. I hate this town. Like
Yeah.
that whole feel. That's kind of what she was kind of like pertaining to. And they did
Mm-hmm.
it. She is. Um, we talked about it while we were watching, but I wanted to state it for the podcast. I don't really I realize I don't really care that much about love stories. Like honestly, even like love stories that I should like that are targeted towards me and that like I enjoy the concept of. I don't really, because I just don't really care about like love that much. um, but I do like the concept of this show, the idea of this like psychopath murderer who is sets out to kill this girl and then learns that he likes her, and the first time that he does kill someone is to help her. That's a very cool. That's just like a cool thing to say. Uh,
Yeah. It is it does kind of come across as like a little like, well, cuz the show doesn't end happy for them, but it still kind of comes across as like love will save you personally.
yeah, I mean, it is definitely. It has that. If it wasn't for him meeting Alyssa, he would not have recovered like that. Obviously, there are
Yeah.
other ways to recover, but that one was a quick one for him.
Therapy might be a good one.
Therapy might have been good for him, but instead he ran away. I do want to point out they don't really. Um, this is another distinction between the uh, the comic and this adaptation. The This adaptation takes place over like a week, less than a week. Like that's how long they were out. And
Mhm.
the comic, I think they're out for a while. Like they run away and they're gone for a while. Um, and that's a you forget about it when you're watching that it's only been like 3 days or so because they follow them pretty much through the entire journey. Uh, like every night they show them as the day goes on and then they sleep and then they wake up the next day. Uh, like that shit.
Yeah, I thought it was a little implied they spent like a couple days in the house, but now that I think about it, maybe it was just like
Nah,
that
just the one.
one night.
That one.
Man, bad timing on Alyssa's part to be like, yeah, this is a safe house.
Yeah. And then also bad timing on her to be like, all right, I'm just gonna go find someone.
Yeah.
uh, God, all the characters stunk. The main two, I like the main two. I like the. Obviously, again, I don't really care about the relationship aspect. I honestly, they're cooler as friends. uh,
Yeah.
just kind of supporting each other. But I get what they're going for. And
Uh huh.
I like I like that they both grew a lot. Like
Mhm.
a lot. They
Yeah.
used to be way shittier.
Yeah. I wasn't crazy about them. I did grow to like them better as they did develop.
Hmm.
But I was still like by the end, like it was weird. It's like I'm invested in what's going on in their story, but I don't care about them as characters, if that makes sense.
It does. No, I get that.
Mostly, I want to know what happens to Eunice because she's gone rogue.
She go rogue. She drove off, and then
She's just kind of said, "Fuck you, Tori."
yeah, and then she went in and she was like, "Don't worry, I'll take you to prison." God,
And they said, "Oh, well, we don't want that.
I don't want to go to stinky prison that
Where I
segregates.
can't see my boyfriend."
Yeah, I do like that they had the dad in there for that scene so that he could be like, "No, prison's she's lying."
Yeah, what? I still. He was the one who called them.
I guess the implication is that he was either planning to sell out both of them or only sell out uh the one guy, um
James.
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 James. And then he was only planning to sell out James or both of them because of the reward money, which is like again, that's bad. I wanted to talk about the fucking because I love the way that the parents are utilized as very obviously at the beginning they're very shitty um because they are portrayed that way. You're supposed to see them and be like, why are you like this? But
Mm-hmm.
there is still you can kind of sense it a little bit of like they're not in a good place either.
Yeah.
um
Especially Alyssa's mother, I think.
she's not okay.
She's not okay. James's dad, not okay. He probably should have put his son and himself in therapy, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking. I'm not gonna blame him. I'm gonna blame society on that one, but still, yeah, no, it's not great. Uh, I love the way that it is like revealed at the end. Like, you're assuming like, oh, they were shitty, and you kind of figure out throughout the course of the story that they weren't that bad, and that they are in not similar situations, but just like not good situations in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then at the end it is kind of revealed they're pretty they're cool. I mean,
Well,
they
at least
they
Alyssa's mom.
fucked up a lot. Well, they had the dad. They She was talking about how he was she the
Or like
you
he was worried.
well
But like we knew
Eunice.
from the beginning that he was worried.
Uh-huh. And also the Eunice was like, I saw your photo that your dad had in his wallet, and then James was like, he doesn't have a photo in his fucking wallet. But he did, because he cares or whatever. But
But
yeah,
he
no, I
did.
that's what I wanted to talk about, the fucking revelation that the mom has been writing all the cards. That's
Yeah.
so good.
See, I still don't get why she would do that, but like so, and obviously there is like like a whole lot of pressure from
It's
her second husband or
it
current husband
I
to exclude the kid, to exclude Alyssa. But it's still wild. Like that's night and day.
I'm pretty sure what you're supposed to assume is that the since Alyssa has a very vocal support of her dad for her whole life, she was been very like excited about him and like crazy about him, and
Mm-hmm.
the way that he kind of imparted all of his knowledge onto her. I have a feeling that her mom kind of saw that, and it might not have been the best solution, but was like, I'm not gonna break her fucking heart. I'm just gonna secretly send her things every year.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she has to like not put her kid's picture on the fireplace mantle.
Oh, that shit. Yeah, no, that. Oh, yeah, no, that's not great.
Um, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like it's so drastic to where she went from like I guess I can't even say went from because these take place simultaneously, forging letters for like from her dad to not even like acting like she considers her kid part of the family.
Yeah, I do think that that's. I mean, obviously, we didn't get to see very much because she just like ran away, and then that was the
Yeah,
end of it. But I do think that it's very clearly like not the stepdad is not great, not
right.
doing like very very tight grip on everything. Um,
Yeah.
God,
I do like now that I think about like the letters that she was getting, that was very clearly a woman's handwriting.
it is. God, the fucking the when Eunice when they were interviewing the parents, and Eunice was like, "Can you let your wife talk for a second?"
Yeah. Yes. I even said like out loud I was like a queen cuz someone had to say it
You like
and I'm glad she did.
let your wife talk for a fucking second. And then at the end when like they were leaving, and she's like, I can call Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Eunice is good.
Like Eunice, love Eunice.
Yeah. Also,
Eunice and Emil, the only two characters I care about.
hmm I like.
Tori's bordering the line.
I do. I do like Frodo.
He was a fun character.
He was a fuck. I just felt so
He
bad.
did just kind of snap,
Well, it's
but I probably would too if my biological name, my given name, were Frodo.
it's just so wild because he finally got his one opportunity to like flip house and go crazy, and he took it so well, and he started just like, fuck everything, I have finally have an escape, I can finally get out of this shit all town. And then they're like, all right, Frodo, you're not coming with us, we gotta go.
Yeah, I knew as soon as he like began like pumping shit, I was like, oh, he's gonna want to go with them.
Like he just didn't like his life is ruined. It's so feels so bad for Frodo. He does not have that job anymore. He probably got sued. Uh
Right?
that lady
He's never gonna have a job again.
that lady definitely like took him to court.
Oh, definitely.
uh it's God, I'm so sorry, Frodo. I'm
I'm
sorry that
sorry,
customer service
Frodo.
really did that to you.
I'm sorry your parents named you Frodo.
um
Why did they do that?
yeah, no, I liked Emil. Emil's fun. Uh I liked the he's very very blunt, and he didn't care like The whole series, Alyssa was just being a big like brat, and then he was like, "Hey, no,
It's like that. Nope, not gonna fly.
nuh-uh, no." But then he was understanding when she brought back the little girl, because that's character.
That's character.
Yeah. Uh, and that's that. I liked the God. I liked the scene where they with the fucking when he tries to call the police on himself, and then when he wakes up the next day and he realizes where he is, he just defaults to tech talking about his mom.
Yeah.
Uh, that's very good. I loved. God, it was very. They set it up to be very awkward in the sense of the
Yeah.
police being like, "What is this kid doing here?"
He's like, do you want to talk to a woman? I love his like genuine like bewilderment. It's like, why would I want to talk to a woman?
Yeah, no, he's a cupboard child. He doesn't know too much. He doesn't understand very many social cues, but he's learning.
He's getting there.
He's learning, and but now the the ending. But I guess you already saw it. You already saw that.
Netflix did give me a thumbnail of season 2 with the two of them.
Eh,
Well, I'm not gonna say it
it's so it
in
was
case people listening have only watched season 1.
it was wild though. It's wild that they. I mean, like I get that they had more to tell, and obviously this show was huge. Like it did really really well. And so like they were like, let's do something else. And I'm not gonna blame them for that. I mean, obviously one season is not like doesn't have to be the end of a story.
Yeah. Well, especially because it was like kind of a mini series
Uh-huh.
rather than like a full 13
Mm.
40-minute episodes kind of a thing.
Yeah, and but it definitely does take a little bit away from the ending
Yeah.
of like, ooh, what happened to him? Are they okay?
Mhm.
Um, because obviously he didn't like that. Obviously he didn't get away, but the question is whether or not he died. Um,
Yeah.
but we'll leave that for later. Uh, so did,
So,
did it was fun. It was all right.
it was okay.
Yeah.
I will be watching season 2 sometime.
Yeah, we'll just do that on our own. We don't have to record everything. No.
No.
Also,
I have a life outside of this.
and it's
Ghost Andrew doesn't.
I don't have well, I have afterlife.
Just a little spirit humor there.
But it's but yeah, no, it's what I should go tell him. I should go be like, hey, don't worry if you do die, it's all right.
You should go to. You know what?
Cause
Go inform those ghost hunters of what comes after life.
oh, the ghost hunters, I met the characters from the show.
Oh, I suppose you could also speak to the fictional characters of the show.
Yeah, and I'll be like, hey, don't even if you do get shot and die and it hurts a lot, it's fine. You're a ghost.
You're just a ghost now, and then you can be together.
It's oh my god, like a soul, and they were soulmates.
And they were soulmates.
Oh my god, they were soulmates. Uh, eh. It's they're fine. They did have
They're
a
fine.
near the end. They did have a pretty cool dynamic.
Yeah. No, I definitely liked them in the last couple episodes.
Especially the scene. I know that I shouldn't be praising average behavior, but I did like um when she was like, "Hey, can we not do this right now?" And he was like,
Mhm.
"Yep, no problem."
Yep.
That was nice.
Yeah, especially when it contrasted to like earlier with the guy she accosted on the street when he like tried to like
Yeah.
persuade her.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice moment.
Mhm. Uh, I didn't know that the legal age in fucking Britain was 17. That's just a weird thing. I didn't know that. Because that's what that whole guy's whole fucking
Yeah, because he was like,
he was like she was 17,
Yeah.
she said she was.
yeah,
So that's weird. Didn't know that. Thanks for teaching me, I guess. Show.
Thanks, BBC,
Thanks.
for all your information.
Thanks, Channel 4. How many channels are there?
Many.
In British?
Just many. Are you Googling how many channels are there?
How many British channels are there? 480! And these guys got on 4? What a lucky break! Whoa!
That's podcast, everyone.
Oh my god. It's one of these days I wish I could be on Channel 4. Let's end it
Thanks
here.
for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning. Well, if we get on chat, I'm gonna submit this to the BBC,
No.
and they're gonna say, "Hey, where's your fucking accent?"
And we'll have to say hello, governor.
And we'll have to produce a whole episode where we say, we're gonna watch an anime.
Oh god.
We're gonna watch an anime. Isn't it?
Oh god.
Love?
That's podcast, everyone. No, you're already doing the dead ghost bit. You can't do a British bit.
I'm a little ghost British boy. I died in a canary mine.
That's a whole different story than the Mandrake.
I died and plucked a mandrake out of a little mine, didn't I?
In
it? Love? That's the end. I'm gonna stop. Goodbye.
Wait, we got
Oh,
credit to
that's
give.
right. Thank you.
The song at the beginning, the middle, and the end was made by our good friend Gigi Byte. Check him out on Bandcamp. He has a SoundCloud.
That's what the other one is. What's it called?
Yeah, SoundCloud. Sparkling River?
There you go.
Ah! Andrew handles all the editing, so like I don't see file names ever.
Sparkling River. Hey, check him out on SoundCloud. Check him out on the other one.
Bandcamp.
Give him some money.
Give him money.
Give him money.
And that's podcast.
And that's
I'm stopping the
goodbye.
recording. Bye.